fairly entertaining and exclusive sort of interview as far as introduction as far as my cricketing career is concerned. When I was playing a round of golf with Maman, he just said, "You please come to BIC on 2nd of October day and be with us." At that point of time, I didn't really realize what he was trying to say or mean. I said, okay, fair enough. It's nice to be with another golfer in a different environment. And I said, yes, I will be there. So every Tuesday we have a round of golf. 2 weeks gone, third week, I said, look, you have to do some sort of talking. I thought I'm a good flighter of the ball, but here is one who is better than me. So at that point of time, I didn't know what to say, yes or no. I said, I'll give it a try. Then he said, don't worry, I will jot out all things what you want to say and give it to you. I said, you are going to jot it out on my behalf. That's an interesting point anyway. Said, okay, fair enough. So anyway, on the last few days ago, he handed out a brochure, very sincere effort, what I should say, what I should not say. But anyway, nevertheless, for having accepted to express my views, here I am. I think the subject matter of aging, grace and dignity, I think is an excellent one. But aging, we have no control on that. But grace and dignity, yes, we have. Well, it's a very debatable point as such. What I say may not be true, and what you say may not be convincing to me. So, however, but the fact of the matter is, the bottom line is the effort that goes behind to take care of people who are aging, and aging with grace, and they have to have a sort of excellent mindset. As all we know, that the most important aspect of life, as one advances in one's age, is healthy mind and a healthy body. To have that, most important thing is the ambience, the environment, and the supporting people who are around one who is aging is, I think, imperative. These days, the younger generations and the stories I hear and read is that parents become a burden, a liability to them to take care of as and when one crosses the age of 60 plus or 70 plus. But the generation have forgotten that in the need of the hour, their parents are there to take care of them, to take care of their family, which is just growing. The unfortunate side of it is that they attach so much of importance to the money, the monetary gain, or the monetary status, that is again a relative term, and thereby they look down upon elderly parents as a liability. Well, comparing the same sort of thing in the my own cricketing field, it is a fact that when you are at the helm of affairs and when you are doing well, the fanship and the following is something which is cannot be explained so easily, but it is tremendous. What actually that impression creates a mind on a sports person is that the life on the other side is also greener. But once the cricketing or the sports activity comes to an end, that is the time when a transition takes place and the unstable wavery of mind starts and plays around oneself. And that is the time when the parent company like the board or an organization which is conducting or creating this game or taking care of this game, their attitude towards an ex-cricketer or an ex-international player comes into play. But as you all know, that to be very confident and to lead a very graceful life, that one has to have is self-belief and self-esteem. See, whatever it is, if theory of relativity is applied, then the grace and the dignity and all this becomes little dicey, because of the fact that you look at somebody and try to aspire like that when there's no means to achieve that. So the life becomes little harder, and the people at that point of time who has to support you invariably deserts you. Well, I have a very unique experience. I started my cricketing career, as it was introduced, around when I was doing my second engineering in NIE, Mysore. I was coming to Bangalore all along every Friday night. Another friend of mine, who happens to be a nephew of Mr. Srinivasan, the president of the board, he was an international basketball player. And he was a rich man's son. At that point of time, as a student, we really did not bother about rich man's son and whatnot. Now I can say, I'm using the word rich man's son. He was the only one to have a two-wheeler with him in Mysore. And we were roommates in the hostelite. So every Friday evening, after the college is over, around 6:37, we used to come to Bangalore, play our league matches. He used to stay in Malaysia. He was an international basketball player. So he used to participate in the 2 days of basketball. On Sunday evening, he used to pick me up, and we used to go all the way back to Mysore. And the following day, we had our two-wheeler cycle, drawing board, set square, and whatnot. But as luck would have it, with this sort of least, I would rather call it as the least effort, because compared to the present lot, the amount of effort they put to play this game, I don't think ever in my whole cricketing career I would have put so much effort. So I happen to represent the country, but my father, being a doctor himself, he was the director of public health. He was very reluctant to allow me to play, and to play for the country as well as to go to West Indies, because he felt he allowed me to play sport as a pastime, but he didn't realize that his son was likely to play for the country. So he said, he was vehement about it, and he said, no, you can't go. So this can't go business reached the president of the KSCA and the secretary of the KSCA, Mr. Chinnasamy, who incidentally or accidentally happens to be his contemporary Mysore. So he came all the way to our house. Then he told him, what is it? Why you are not allowing your son to play? So my father was very clear. He said, look, engineering, I'm going to invest on his studies. Whatever that little money I have, those days a government servant used to have around 1,200 or 1,300 rupees a month. And he has to support me at the hostel and do engineering. I'll do it. My investment is on his education. And I'm afraid that if I allow him to play sport, I don't think he will. I'm afraid that he may be, a dropout student, sort of a thing. So he was disappointed with my father's reaction. He went back to Bangalore Palace. Our Maharaja was there. He went and told him, look, here's a person we are able to produce one cricketer, first Kannadiga to play and tour on an official this one, and his father is saying no. My father was fortunate enough to go along with Maharaja in those Mysore days, along with Maharaja on a horseback, and do the survey, clear the areas for his, whether it's residential area, blah, blah, blah. So that he remembered, and he called him. So I was at Mysore at that point of time. So I got a call. I'm just narrating to you how the, caretaking side, how it falls into place without anybody coming into play. So I got a call by the principal of my NIE. Said, look, Maharaja of Mysore is calling you to go to Bangalore. It's a Maharaja of Mysore, It's a unique, and I didn't know the magnitude and the importance of that. And I was just wondering how will I go. So anyway, those days the taxis were shared, 6 rupees or so, something like that. So we had one excellent professor, S.R. Aprima is no more. He came along with me because he was a cricket enthusiast, and he believed that I had the talent, also a little bit of engineering talent as well. So he thought that I should somehow reach Bangalore. He put me on to the sharing taxi, by paying 6 rupees. So I came to Bangalore. We went to my palace at that point of time. So it was a sort of a directive, because those days everyone was serving the Maharaja only, It was not that. So the state belonged to him. So he said, Doctor, you have to allow your son to go. So my father, he did not know what to say. So, no, don't worry, I will look after him. These are the words. Anyway, so my father, in the religious way, he walked back facing the Maharaja. I just turned around and we got into the corridor. My father, instead of talking about my cricket, he started firing me. He said, what do you know? You're showing your back to Maharaja and this and that. So, anyway, I didn't know, but that was the first object lesson of, courtesy or respect or whatever you call it. And then we came back from the palace ground to Basungudi where we were staying. He did not utter one word to me. He was fuming. And, anger, everything was sort of bottling up. Reached home. He didn't even allow 1 second for bottle to, burst. He fired my mother, left, right, and center. Said he told her, your son will be on the road. There is that. So my mother said, Marja said, I know, I have worked with them. So just leave it. Anyway, whatever it is, I went abroad, did reasonably well for the youngster. Came back, but I lost my father. First setback. So my mother, those days, single source income, and the family is always cheaper by the dozen. And liability is, just sort of unanticipated liability has shut up. My mother did not lose her courage. He just kept quiet. How we'll manage? As luck would have it, I'm grateful to KSCA. They subsidize my hostel, expenses. Somehow, but before going to West Indies, I had given my word to my father that, don't worry, I will complete my engineering. Then, anyway, eventually I completed my engineering. Those 5 years, I had to be away from cricket, but in touch with the cricket. Many things happened during that period. And soon after my graduation, I think the Australian team was here. I got an invitation to come and attend the Nets for trials to be selected, whatever it is. So I told them, look, I got one practical exam to complete. And I got a phone call, you need not come. Well, it didn't even put me I was not disappointed with that reaction. I said, fair enough, So I went and told my mother, look, what has happened. She said, don't worry, you be at it. Anyway, I stayed, I come back, became what I am today as a cricketer. But what happened during that nurturing time was the caretaking, sacrifice, and the good intent of my family stood by me, and even today it is helping me to spontaneously support without anybody asking me. If I have 100 rupees, if someone says, look, I don't have, I'll give it. It's not that, somehow that habit has inculcated in me. And as the years roll by, what I realized is to stand in the public with a lot of dignity and grace. What one requires is the self-confidence and the self-esteem, which is the only thing, because I still feel if someone has money, it's difficult for someone to see that money unless until he throws a party or he does something. You know what I'm trying to say? Whereas if someone has the self-esteem and the confidence, I think it is easily recognizable, and to conduct oneself, what is basic essential is, I think, the education. Bottom line is education. Education is not in the college days. The education of moving with people, adjusting with people, to live with people, to help people. And I'm glad Lundbeck has given me this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation that what they are attempting to bring the awareness of extending support, particularly to senior citizens, which is, I think, quite a large in India, is the need of the hour for them to really accept their old age and live very happily thereafter. Thank you.